Welcome back to Inside College Basketball Now with Jon Rothstein. Pleased to be joined by Arkansas head coach John Calipari. And Cal, welcome and happy anniversary. It was 31 years ago this week that your team at UMass beat Arkansas in Springfield to start out the season in 94-95. What do you remember about that game?
I have the poster still
Wow.
in my office of that game. Kevin, go give me that poster. I'll put it up on the screen so you know I have it. So no, that was a game in Springfield. They were number one in the country. Ended up winning the national title that year. And our kids came inspired and physical, and we played well. We played well, and it was a good game. It was great. It wasn't at home. It was in Springfield, Mass, at
Yep.
the Hall of Fame game. So no, I remember it.
What was the Arkansas brand like at that time, considering the program obviously won the national title in 94 and then went to the title game again in 95? And there's the poster right there. Look at that.
You see Coach right there
Yep.
on the bottom. You
I see
see
it.
Derek. You see Corliss. You see Lou, and that
Yeah.
young guy up top. How about that?
That's amazing.
Still have it. Still have it. So yes, proud of that. That was a breakthrough game for us at UMass.
And what do you remember about the Arkansas brand at that time? National champs 94, national title game appearance in 95.
40 minutes of hell. They were going to come after you. If they were the aggressor, if they were more physical than you, you had no shot at beating them.
Right.
They were talented. Corliss was like ridiculous. But they were all Scotty Thurman. They had one guy after another, and he was playing 10, 11 guys. They just kept coming in waves.
You know, you did incredible things at UMass. You did incredible things at Memphis. You took both of those programs to the Final Four. For somebody who started the way you started at non-power conference jobs in college as a head coach, what has it been like for you now to see things tilted so much towards the power conferences?
Well, I've been on the NABC board, and the guys that are on there will tell you that I talk about what about the Atlantic 10? What about Conference USA?
Right.
How are they going to be impacted by this? Because many of us in that room, that's where we all started.
Right.
The environment today, transfer NIL, don't know how you do it at a mid-major. Now, you could say I heard one school's got all foreign players. And now here's what happens. What I said would happen. Freshmen are being left out
Right.
because how about they're going to the G League to get guys? They're going overseas to get guys. They're taking older transfers. We're playing 27, 28-year-olds. Freshmen are getting left out. That's what disappoints me in all this. Because you would get freshmen, and maybe you had a chance to really be transformational. Whether it was a kid that left after 1 year, you prepared him for having success
Right.
early, or a kid that stays 4 years, gets his college degree, goes on with that transformational part of coaching. Everything now is 1 year.
Yeah.
And that disappoints me.
Can you imagine being a young head coach starting out your career in this climate?
No. And well, at UMass, let me just say this. Tony Barbie wouldn't have stayed. Harper Williams wouldn't have stayed. Jim McCoy wouldn't have stayed. Lou Rowe would have never stayed. Marcus Camby wouldn't have stayed. Edgar Padilla, Carmelo Travieso would never have stayed.
Right.
Those kids built the program. Now you just flip it. And so it's a totally, and I don't blame a kid for transferring because that's what the rules say.
Right.
But we've done them wrong by not saying you can transfer once without penalty. After that, you got to sit out a year.
Right.
We've done them wrong, the freshmen, the young high school players that are striving to make a better life for themselves by saying you have 5 years to play. You have 5. You don't have 9. You
Right.
have 5. And if you're a pro, go be a pro. So I mean, I think we're doing the kids a disservice. And if you want to say something about, well, let's have uniform coaching contracts, that if you can't leave, I don't really care about all that. I also don't care how much money the kids make. I don't care. I just say transfer once. After that, you sit out. It gets this thing in order, and you get 5 years. We should worry about that, which gets 70% of our issues away, and lets coaches be transformational instead of transactional coaches.
And it's such a tough climate, as you said, for young coaches. And one of those young coaches is your son, Brad, who works with you at Arkansas. I'm curious, after so many years dealing with the demands of the time with this job, recruiting, speaking functions, what is it like at this juncture of your career to be going to work every day with your son?
Well, he played for me for 3 years. So I had that opportunity. I wasn't allowed to hire him at Kentucky.
Hmm.
So he went to Vanderbilt. He went and worked for Rod Strickland in Long Island for a year. And now with me, but I told Tommy Izzo, I tell Mark Few, we can't have the game look like this for our sons.
Right.
We just can't. We got to do stuff before we step away to make sure we're not running from this. Let's try to solve some of this, and then demand some of the changes. They'll sue you. They'll do. Let them sue. You got to take a stand. I'm not talking money. Don't
Right.
care what they make. I'm talking the guardrails what make us transformational as coaches.
You spent 15 years at Kentucky, which is a long time to be at a job. Obviously, it demands everything it demands. What has it been like when you're in that type of a fishbowl every single day to be out of the fishbowl now a little bit?
It's a little different. It is. I mean, you're not at the center of the universe on every story, on every click, on all that stuff. Yet we're still like we're in the SEC. We had last year on CBS the highest rated television game regular season since 2008. We'll be on CBS a couple more times, or ESPN. I mean, we're still what we are. Our building is sold out. They reseeded the house. They all the stuff that you need to win is here. But I'm living in a college town,
Right.
90,000 people, 35,000 students. I'm in a college town. When I started at UMass, I think it was 30,000 students and maybe 25,000 residents. You had to go to Boston, you had to go to New York City. Springfield was 40 minutes away, but the other two were 2 hours away.
Right.
So this is kind of similar to that, but I'm enjoying it. My wife is enjoying it. Again, trying to do what we do. This is about players. You can say what you want, but if you're trying to make it about all the other stuff, it's hard to do this job. As long as I can stay focused on young people. Now, I've been hard here the last 2 days because we're not getting it yet. Our culture's not what it needs to be within this team. More leadership. They got to be more empowered. They're not ready to be. I'm saying I'm trying to do too much. Like I'm going home. I'm a little tired. So I'm too involved in this because I can't get them by just talking to them. Here's what this has got to look like. And ready for this? How connected you have to be.
Hmm.
You can't be out there trying to do your own thing. You can't be out there doing because the minute your stuff goes wrong, which half the time it does, you're down, you're moving your head, you're hitting the floor, you're losing your mind because you're so concerned about you. Lose yourself in the team. That's what I am battling right now. And now we got to go play Duke, and we're not connected how we have to be. We weren't. Tommy Izzo and I talked. We weren't connected like Michigan State was. Now, they
Right.
may have had some veteran players come back. You can say what you want. His team was more connected than our team. We had a chance to win the game. We weren't connected enough to take the game. We just weren't. So I've got a lot of work to do, and I'm fine with it. I just can't wait for the moment that this team feels empowered and it's their team, not my team.
From what you've seen over the first few weeks of the season, how does the team you're coaching now compare to the team that went to the Sweet 16 last March?
Well, we were way better at the end of the year than we were at the beginning of the year. We may be a little farther ahead, but by the end of the year,
Mm.
look, we won that second game. I thought we could win a national title. We could win the national title. And then you get up, we're playing well. I'm feeling, and then all of a sudden, a couple plays, two or three, four things go wrong, you lose. But it didn't take away from where that team went. And our two leading scorers were hurt and out. So when you have those guys out and your team strives and thrives without those two, it tells you what kind of players we had. And four of those guys came back, which is why I'm saying, come on, we got to connect. And the culture that I've always built wherever I've been, and culture does travel. It does. Getting them on the same page is a big part of that. Getting them to sacrifice for their teammates, care more about your teammate than yourself. Be about each other. Be about what you're representing. So we got a ways to go.
I know coaches do not believe in moral victories, but considering the fact that you do start two freshmen on the perimeter, and we'll get to them here in a bit, and considering the fact that you clearly did not play your best, but you still had a chance to win the game at Michigan State 6 days into the season against a veteran team, did you take pride in the fact that you weren't your best and you still had a chance to beat a team like that in East Lansing?
Um, our freshmen played like freshmen. A couple other players that are significant no-showed us. I mean, literally, like, what in the world? It told me where we were. We learned from the game. Like, okay, you think you're here, you're not. You thought the freshmen were here, they're not. It ain't going to be easy.
Right.
So, you know what we all forget as coaches? You forget the beginning of every season. You do. You know what you think? The last month of the season. That's all you think about. How you played, what you were doing, what your team was doing. But to get to that point, you figure out it's hard. And after that game, I knew I had a lot of work to do. Look, Winthrop had us beat dead to rights. 15 out of 33s they make, and we still win the game. And we only win it down the stretch with the minute 30 because Trevin Brazil went in the huddle. We're winning this game. We're good. Just keep playing.
Mm-hmm.
Change the whole attitude. And I'm like, why don't you talk like that all the time? You understand you changed what happened. How about talking like that in practice? Really? Yeah. And so, and then I'll tell you, Sanford gave us a game. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I know you win by, you're up 15 or whatever, but they made it. They controlled it. So we got work to do. And Duke's going to be a hard game now. I mean, you could talk the Boozer brothers, we recruited them. I know how good they are. The Evans kids, the way they shoot it. Big Patrick, I recruited him. I know how good he is. They
Mm-hmm.
got a bunch of guys that are really talented and really big lengthwise. Um, obviously can shoot it, um, play pretty like organized, and they're a pretty new team. They
Yeah.
lost a lot last year, but they're playing organized, similar to last year, the same kind of stuff they did. But it is, they're playing to their strengths. I can tell you that.
Well, you've had, more great freshmen than anybody, given the fact that, Cameron Boozer has come in and been such a force already. What are your early impressions when you evaluate him in preparation for this game on Thursday?
He's physical. He gets angles to the basket. The best part of his game, he offensive rebounds his own misses. And it's hard. He's a terrific passer. So you can say, well, let's double team him. Well, now the rest of the guys, the game's easier for him. So he's good. He's good. And we're going to have to be at our best to try to say, just make it hard. You're not trying to just stop him from scoring baskets. Has a knack for getting fouled. My two freshmen, um, they're just getting better. They're learning how to play with other players. They're learning how to create for each other, not just for themselves. They're learning late shot clock. What do I do? They're learning if three guys are on you, someone's open.
Yeah.
So don't shoot that one. And they're learning all this stuff. And it's fun for a coach to watch. Like I'll call them in today and I'll talk to them about, look, I know I'm trying to get you to do certain things, but I'm going to accept some of your mistakes. So just go play. We can work it out later. Don't hesitate. Don't overthink it. You know we're trying to make you have a basket, shoot it. You're both good scorers. I'll deal with the stuff. Just make sure you're competing, you're battling, you're locked in. Here's one they can't accept. Sub yourself every once in a while. Take
Mm.
yourself out. No, I'm in high school. I play all 40 minutes. Now I'll stop on the court at times and give up a basket or two and won't cut when I'm supposed to because I'm tired. I'll throw the ball and stand because I'm exhausted. Yeah, that's when you're not supposed to be in the game. That's what they have to learn. But I'll tell you, both of them really talented. Malik, we got Isaiah Sealy, talented freshman. Haven't had the opportunity, but I'll be honest with you, he's going to get opportunities to play. The games have been too close. I'm trying to shove him in, let him run, let him get his thing. He's trying to figure out, again, how to connect with teammates, not just go play. There's three guys down there, and you're trying to shoot on a transition basket with the guy standing in the corner because well, this is what I've done. We're trying to get them connected more than anything else.
And the two freshmen you referenced, Darius Acuff and Meleek Thomas, have obviously produced out of the gate at a high level, but dealing with freshman backcourts is nothing new for you. John Wall and Eric Bledsoe, Brandon Knight and Deron Lamb, Tyler Eulis and Devin Booker, De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk. Why, if we can see some of these things you're asking these two gentlemen to clean up, can at the end of the season Acuff and Thomas join that conversation and company?
Because just like those guys, they could go get a basket.
Mm.
You can stop plays, but it's hard to stop players that can play. You
Yeah.
can guard a play, but if he can really play, it's hard to stop a player that can play. And with those two, they can. Now, I haven't been starting Meleek, which we can go down the line of guys that didn't start that ended up being top 10 picks if you want to. But he's still going to get the most minutes, and he's probably still going to get the most shots. And it gives me a start with a really steady Eddie who can play. And DJ Wagner plays
Yep.
so hard, tries to connect, talks, does everything the right way. And the game calms down when Meleek goes in.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel good about that rotation, and I've talked to him about it. And I know he wants to start, and there's people in his ear. You're a starter, ego, 8th grade. This is 8th grade. You're supposed to show that stuff. They just got to grow up. You say you want to be professionals. Okay, NBA? No boys allowed. No boys allowed. So if you want to be a child and an 8th grader, you're not ready for that. It isn't about all who starts, it's about who finishes. They're not evaluating you. I've had 20 players. I don't know if this is a bad thing. 20 players shoot more balls per game in pros than they did for me. 20. Most of those are on second contracts, max deals. You're not evaluated that way. But here, you're learning to be a great teammate. You're learning to share. You're learning to lose yourself in the team. That's the culture we have. There are other schools you go to, and we're going to make sure you get 25 a game, and you're going to shoot. We're running everything through. That's okay. That's one way of doing it. I just know what we've done. The players go to the league and perform. They're great teammates. They know how to share, but they're good enough to Maxie had 54 the other day. Had 54. I mean, all the stuff we're trying to do is to teach them. But That's why I'm able to coach, and that's why I'm able to get aggressive. They want my opinion. They want my um, saying, "Hey, you're finally doing it." Like this has been 2 tough days. The last 2 days, really, the game in the last 2 days. I've now got to. The meeting's got to be. You guys got to start getting this. I can't fight you and us be any good. I can't. You got to know I'm playing harder than the other guy. I'm playing with a purpose. I'm not just out here throwing balls. I know what we're trying to do. I know what the game plan is. We're not there yet, and but I got to stay somewhat positive. Last year, we were 0-5
Yep.
starting the league.
Yep.
0-5. I had to make sure they knew where they were getting better. We're closer. If I really got on a guy, I couldn't. This team, I'm being a little harder on. I'm trying to say, look, let's go. Let's keep stepping up. But we got a ways to go.
If there was one guard that Darius Acuff most reminded you of that played for you, and if there was one guard that Meleek Thomas reminded you of that played for you, who would they be?
This guy didn't play for me, but I'm a big fan and been a friend. Rip Hamilton.
Yeah.
So Rip Hamilton from Meleek. But Rip got shots off before he caught the ball. Right. How he flew around, knew how to use screens, knew how to set men up, knew how to get them to close where he could go and do something. That's who he could be. And that's pretty lofty. Yeah. Darius is probably a bigger version of a Chris Paul-ish kind of kid, who he could score more. I mean, I'm trying to tell him he was scoring 20 a game for us, but he was really locked into scoring. So now the last few games, he's averaging 14 a game and maybe more assists. There's a game you're going to get 30. Then go get it. Yeah. The same with Meleek. There's other games you're not because someone else on our team is going to get 30. But I would say, that physical, tough, being able to create shots. Chris Paul made more of the easy plays. Both of these two, what it looks like matters. Like, I can't just throw him a ball like that. I got to look away and throw it over my ear, even though I could look at him and throw it to him, because I got to make this stuff look harder. Those two became all-stars, Hall of Famers, because they did the easy stuff really hard. That's the stuff they did. They played to win. I'm going to get you shots. I'm going to make baskets when I have to. Game winners on the line. I'm going to go get it. But these guys are like 18 years old. Yeah. So, and I'm not saying they're all-star Hall of Famers. You asked me to compare them to somebody. I would compare them to those two. The guards I had, we had bigger guards. Jamal Murray was 6'5", big, stronger. We had De'Aaron Fox speed and John Wall speed and Eric Bledsoe. I can go on and on and on, 30 names, but every one of them were different. Mm-hmm. But they became their best version, and Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox were together, and Malik was Malik, and De'Aaron was De'Aaron. The only thing I had to get De'Aaron to do, this is your team. Right. Would you please take over? It's your team. And when he did, we went to another level, and had our chances with that team, which was a heck of a team, by the way.
Heck of a team. And obviously Acuff and Thomas are the players that people are going to see in bold print. But I got to tell you, watching your team, you have a player that, to me, might be the most favorite player that I've seen this season on any team, and that's Billy Richmond, because he can
Billy Goat. Billy Goat.
Billy Goat. There you go. He can have a great impact on the game without demanding any shots. What has it been like to coach somebody in this climate who is all about doing everything that impacts winning?
There's probably not a player in the last 15 years that I brag on within the team, within the media, anywhere I go around this state, When I bring up Billy Richmond, there's an ovation. I don't care who I'm speaking to, what the event is. Billy Richmond, yay! Why does everyone love? And a guy nicknamed him Billy Goat.
Yeah.
Why? Because he impacts the game in every way. Offensive rebound and flying up and down the court. How about let me guard that guy? That's him, okay? Rebounding, doing all the things, making passes because he's a basketball player. He's shooting the ball way better, scoring the ball way better. Again, coming off the bench, he didn't care. He's still going to get his minutes and he's still
Yeah.
going to be that guy and he's still going to have an impact on the game. So, no, he's unique.
You've done so many unique things throughout your coaching career from a game perspective. A couple years ago, you played Michigan and London. You've been in every big game from obviously a non-conference perspective. But Thursday is going to be different. It's a primetime game on CBS, the first time in prime time, and the opponent is Duke. How invigorating is it for you after everything you've experienced in your career to be playing in a game like this in prime time against an opponent like Duke?
Well, we have worked with CBS. You know, I've had a great relationship. The CBS Classic, I don't want to say I did it, but I did it. Some of these other games, and then working to get this game. And I appreciate Duke doing it.
Yep,
Now, John's going home to Chicago, so I think he's more excited about going home for Thanksgiving than even I am.
sure.
And they're really good. I mean, they're really good. And that means that all these games, when you play the games, you risk a
Yeah.
lot. Like we're risking a lot, but so are they. There's a risk to doing these games. But like I said, last year, the Illinois game was the highest rated regular season game since 2008. What?
Yep.
And they smashed us, by the way. Just absolutely made threes and they killed us. But walking away taught us, showed us. We ended up getting better and we got better. And now at the end of the year, we're where we are. I'm just using this regular season. How do we get better? If you're winning and losing is living and dying, you're going to die a lot and you're going to look like death. You can't I want to win every game I play. If anybody says I don't, kind of want a whole lot, but I mean, if you say I don't care, I care about the kids. I'm not going to tell them none of this is about you. It's all about that. You have nothing to do. I'm never going to be that guy. And then I worry about my own brand. I mean, I'm not going to be that guy. But the same sense, I let them know winning matters for them because we all eat when they win. And so, yeah, I got to challenge them to be their best. And I'm coaching to win the game.
Yeah.
Not won every game I've coached, but you end up saying when my teams are winning 35, 38, 38, yeah, 5 and 6 guys get drafted. Well, what about this team? What do you guys want to be? We win a whole lot, you're all going to be eating good.
Right.
And if we don't, it's the game you play.
And the challenge, obviously, for your team on Thursday is going to be directly related in one area of the game to the backboard, because as you had referenced, Duke is such a big team physically. What is the message the next couple of days to Trevin Brazil, Nick Pringle, Meleek, you and your front court guys about going up against the size of Duke up front?
Well, they will go rebound offensively. So we got to match it and we got to rebound offensively. And they're going to do a great job because they're big, they're long, and it's going to be a battle. And everybody's got to understand I'm in on it. They do a lot of wedging under the goal. Some of it is on the drive, and then they shoot it and they wedge you so close that they try to go get it. You got to figure it out. You can't surrender. But you're going to get beat some because it's what they do so well. But offensive rebounding for us and them is going to be a big part of the game.
Final thing, Cal. Obviously, you guys went to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament last year, had a chance to advance, won 2 games in March Madness. What are the biggest long-term keys for this team to get back in a similar situation in March of 2026?
Being connected, really simple. When I say connected, that everybody's battling. You're not taking plays off. We're all locked into what we're trying to do, both on offense and defense, and we're doing it together. Now, I got one of the fastest teams in the country. You ready? Defend and rebound, and you don't have to worry about me. Fly. But if they're scoring every time, it's hard to play the way you want to play. The other side of it is if a team is passing the ball and playing slower, every possession matters a little bit more. So
Right.
you can't just shoot a quick contested shot when they're throwing 12 passes before they shoot. We have to learn that. How about this? Separation time. It's a 12-point game. You can't look up and it's 6 the next time. You get it to 20. You know how? You
Right.
get stops and you make easy plays, not like the hardest play you can make. And then the last thing is winning time. How are you going to play? Like we got it back when we went to Michigan State, and it ended up being close. It was a tie game, but at that point, they executed better than we did to win the game. Winning time. How do you play together? Like I'm saying stuff to you that I'm locked into what I have to do with this team. And there's going to be ups and downs, and there's going to be some knocks in the head. And then they're going to bust through and they're going to realize, and now they're going to make sure and hold each other accountable to the way it's got to be done for this team. And every team I coached is different. How you massage the ball is different. How you post the ball is different. How much you play pick and roll and how much you don't play pick and roll is different. Um, Having screening actions versus cutting actions, it's all different. And we're still learning this team and how we have to do it.
And this team will be in the spotlight Thursday night, prime time on CBS, Arkansas Duke on Thanksgiving night. Myself, Ian Eagle, Bill Rafter will be on the call from Chicago. Cal, appreciate a couple minutes. Know how busy you are. Look forward to connecting later in the week. And as always, look forward to staying connected along the way.
Thanks, John.
You got it. That's Arkansas head coach John Calipari. I'm Jon Rothstein, and this is Inside College Basketball Now.